This is the 2-minute warning. Final coaches show of the 2024 season. I'm your host, Ken Anderson, joined by Coach Tyler Haynes, as usual. And I want to give a couple of shout-outs here before we get underway. The first shout-out I want to give, the Sports Information Department at Catawba does a fantastic job. Kyle Grace, Drew Sandifer, and Trey Harrell, and others. But I want to mention, if you happen to see Sports Center last Saturday morning, the hard work that Trey Harrell put in after Justin Banks had the game-winning slam dunk to get that submitted to Sports Center to become the #1 play on Sports Center Top 10. That was just a fantastic job. So great shout out to the Sports Information Group and to Trey. And Coach, you have plenty of shout outs you want to give as well.
Absolutely. I'd like to thank President Nelson and his family for being in attendance. I'd like to thank the Graham family for sponsoring this show week in and week out. I'd like to thank Michelle Cadigan and our entire athletic department. I'd like to thank the Dees family, Maddox, and everyone in the development office to make sure this show goes. Most importantly, I'd like to thank the fans that have hung with us week in and week out through this turbulent ride. Not only here in person, as big as it is, the crowd has always been great, but also those listening online across the country. Thank you so much for supporting us.
And Coach, you mentioned that turbulent ride. Again, we did everything except to win the game this week. You had 385 yards of offense compared to 271 for LR. Got off to a great start, 14-3 in that first quarter. Everything was going great, mixing the run and pass. What was really working for you at that point in the game?
Yeah, I think we have talent. We're a talented, gritty football team. We haven't been able to put 4 quarters together very regularly, but that was the best half of football we have played so far. LR is obviously a very talented team, a fifth-year quarterback. That's a lot of won-of-games for them. We respect them. We had a good game plan. I think offensively and defensively we had a good plan going in. We started fast, which is what you want to do, and put points on the board. Defense created that early turnover. We answered immediately with another touchdown to go up 14-3 and go into halftime up 14-13 was huge.
And then things just kind of flipped a little bit. They adjusted defensively. They kind of made quarterback Mason Fortune uncomfortable. What did they do defensively to make that happen?
I don't think they adjusted. I think we strained. I think, we're everything's going well. We're up, and then all of a sudden, they score a touchdown. So now, do we get anxious? Do we get nervous? Mason broke a couple tackles, got out of the pocket, and made some poor decisions where he had been making good decisions with his feet and completing the ball. So I think one mistake to a freshman quarterback led to another mistake and another mistake. You can't let that happen. Not to put that all on his shoulders. We need other guys to step up. But I think what you saw there is you saw a very talented young man with all the weight of the world on his shoulders, whether it needs to be or not. And most of the time he answered that call. He made a couple mistakes that cost us.
Now, we know the record's not where we want it to be, but there have been so many positives to take away in this season. So I want to talk about a lot of those positives right now. First of all, let's start with the offensive line. They have been healthy all year. They have really gelled. They led L.J. Turner to be amongst the top rushers in the country, 1,224 yards on the season. What's been the key to that offensive line development?
Couple things. Number one, leadership from within. I think, I'm a big believer in our assistant coaches being the head coach of their room. And coach talk, that means coach your guys mentally, physically, socially, academically, be the head coach of your room. Brian Collins, our offensive line coach, has done a great job. This is year 2 for our staff. So I think our guys and our coaches, we know each other. We have built those relationships now, and he gets the most of those guys. And I think that offensive line's toughness, to have those guys week in and week out. We talk about all the injuries we've had at skill positions, which is unfortunate. That offensive line's beat up too, but you know what? They suit up. They go out there and they do their job. So I'm super proud. A lot of it stems from Kenyon James at the center position. He's the vocal and emotional leader of that group of 5 up front, and he's been a 4-year starter for us. We're going to miss him, but I'm very proud of that offensive line throughout the season.
Another guy that's
four of them are back.
And another guy that's been valuable for you, the tight end, Kobe Christian, just always seems to make plays when you need him. What can you say about him?
Kobe is electric. He's a good human being. If he's not a 4.0 student, he's close. He's getting offered jobs by NASCAR. He could be a registered nurse. He has the whole world in front of him. I'm so proud of these seniors, and this might be, I'm sorry to jump ahead. We have 11 seniors walking. Only a couple of them actually play for us, but regardless of that, most of these seniors have been through COVID, a coaching change, injuries, a 2-8 season after a 5-8 season. They've been through a lot. So the things that they have learned in their time here at Catawba, they will carry for the rest of their lives. Kobe has been through so much, and he perseveres through it all, and he shines through it all.
Let's talk about the defense. Your 3 linebackers out there, Khalil Stimson, Jalen Hinton, and Evan Simons, they really get after people and make a lot of plays. That crew right there has really solidified your defense.
Yeah, they hustle around, they fly around, they make plays. They're all young guys. Evan technically is a senior, he has another year, but the other guys you're mentioning are freshmen and sophomores. So they fly around, they make plays. We need them to make more plays. We need all our guys to play better. Again, 2-8 is not where we need to be. Everyone understands that. So as well as we think we're playing, there's a whole nother level to this thing, and it's coming.
And the secondary, because of injuries, a lot of people have seen action in the secondary. You have a lot of playmakers back there.
Yeah, we do. Jakari Martin is a good one for us, plays boundary corner, goes against their best receiver. As you saw, LR has some really good receivers, and for the most part, our guys hung in there. Now, those skill guys had some punt returns and got some different touches, but Jakari battled through an injury, has been playing well. We played multiple safeties. Again, all young guys, no seniors in the back end. Look forward to those guys to continue to develop.
And what would you say has been the most positive thing for you and your coaching staff through this season?
That we're a part of Catawba College, that we're a part of Salisbury, we're a part of something very big, and we know that the light at the end of the tunnel is within grasp. You see flashes of what is and what can be and what's going to be. There's no doubt in my mind that we took this job a year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever it was, and we promised a SAC championship, and nothing has changed from that. It doesn't come in our time, it comes in someone else's time, but it's still coming.
All right, Coach, well, we'll get you back up here to talk about this week's game coming up in just a little bit. We'll get some of your star players from this week's game to come up here and talk with us right now. And stepping up here will be receiver J.J. Grant, who's a senior this year. He'll be honored on senior night on Saturday. And linebacker Jalen Hinton from Irmo, South Carolina, who had an outstanding game on Saturday. Jalen had 12 tackles in the game Saturday, 2 of those tackles for losses. J.J. Grant, 11 receptions for 109 yards, his career high. So, J.J., let's start with you first on the offensive side. What was the key for you in that big game to get you those 11 catches and all those yards?
I just went out there and we had a game plan. We have a great offensive coordinator and Coach Sopcich. We have a great quarterback, great O-line, you know what I'm saying? I just go out there and run my routes and the ball found me. And, just play the ball. It's just as simple as that to me.
Now, most of the time you're lined up as a slot receiver.
Yes, sir.
What are the different responsibilities in the slot as opposed to being on the outside?
Well, in the slot, it's like people my size, we're quick, twitchy. Sometimes we got to get rough with the linebackers and stuff like that. But, we just quick and twitchy. We'll have us running deep, short, intermediate routes. But, when the ball finds us, we just do what we can. I like to call us not like Kobe Christian is like kind of a third down guy, but I feel like we like right behind that. If you need sure hands, then you come to us slots.
Now, JJ, you played for J.M. Robinson High School down in Concord.
Yes, sir.
You had quite a few coaches during your high school career, but
yes, sir.
What valuable lesson did you learn from one of those coaches that you really carried through to your college career?
I learned I used to get told a lot, just control what you can control. Like, new coaching staff comes in, new coaching staff goes out, but you play your game and put yourself in the best position to be successful, you will be successful.
And then your father, Josh, played college football at Benedict.
Yes, sir.
What did he teach you, or what did you learn from him to prepare you for your football career?
The same thing, just be you. Don't worry about everything else. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and, like, your game speaks to who you are, and people are always watching. Like, whether you second or third string, your time will come. Someone is always watching you. And when your time comes, just, ball out.
And Jalen, let's switch over to you. You played for Dutch Fork High School down in Irmo, South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
For legendary North Carolina coach Tommy Knotts.
Yes, sir.
And what did you learn playing with Coach Knotts? What lesson did he impart on you?
Biggest lesson I learned from Coach Knotts is definitely trying to do everything with perfection and doing your job for every single player in the field. Coach Knotts, he taught us how to play with tough effort for all 6 seconds of a play. So that's my biggest takeaway from Coach Knotts.
And your position, you're listed as the will linebacker.
Yes, sir.
I'm assuming W stands for weak side linebacker.
Yes, sir.
So where are you lined up on most plays? How do you determine which side of the field you're going to line up on?
So mostly our star, Evan Simons, he gives a star call. But most of the time it will be in the short side of the field or like the shorter side of the field. And, it's up to Evan to make that decision. And I'll listen to him, and that's where I line up.
And then when the play starts, what are you keying on? What are your responsibilities?
So our biggest keys as linebackers is reading the guards to the back. Depending on teams like Carson Newman or teams that run triple option, you want to read the fullback or sometimes or the guards or the tackles. It all depends on the team you're playing in the scheme.
And last week we mentioned 12 tackles, 2 of those for loss.
Yes, sir.
On the season, 54 tackles. Your linebacker crew has been really active, but you can't do that without the guys up front occupying some blockers to free you guys up, can you?
Oh, no, sir. Without them, none of that is possible. They're our biggest components to the defense. Without them, we can't make any tackles, make any plays. So they do all the dirty work, and they don't get a lot of shine for it, but I'm going to give them their shine. I love them for it, and I thank them for it all the time.
Now, last year as a freshman, you had 26 tackles through the first 6 games, then you suffered an injury. What
Yes,
was
sir.
your injury, and how was the battle back from that injury?
So I ended up breaking my right tibia against Newberry at their homecoming, and Coach Haynes and my teammates and everybody in Catawba family, they brought me back up, and the fight was well. I got back on the field, and I'm blessed to be where I am. I'm blessed to be back playing for you guys.
And looking at your family history as well, your father played college basketball at
Yes, sir.
Charleston Southern. You had an uncle that played football at Presbyterian.
Yes, sir.
What did you learn, or what did they teach you to be prepared for your career in football?
They taught me how to be competitive. Everything was a competition with them. We were always going at it with each other, and we always tried to beat each other. So that was my biggest takeaway from them, just being competitive.
Now, JJ, we mentioned you're a senior. You're going to be honored Saturday at senior night.
Yes, sir.
So what did you study here at Catawba, and what are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future, I want to do a PT, be a physical therapist. I like helping people out, and that's something that really does something for me because I don't think anyone's ever too good to help someone out. That goes a really long way. And while here at Catawba, I feel like these past 4 years have been it's been amazing. Like, it's a small campus, so everybody knows everybody. So if you really need help with something, someone's quite literally a walk away from helping you. It's a real close community, and everyone's here for each other.
And it doesn't seem like you've been here that long compared to some of the other guys that, with COVID and all the other stuff going on there, they're hanging around for a long time. Your 4 years have gone by pretty quick, haven't they?
Really quick. It's like, so in high school, people would be like, 4 years are quick. When you get to college, it's even faster. So advice to, the young underclassmen, I say, just take it day by day. Take it every day, because once it's gone, and it's a great thing to experience it.
And then, Jalen, what are you majoring in, and what do you hope to do in the future?
I'm majoring in pre-nursing right now, and I hope to be a pediatric nurse in the future and work with kids and, take care of the community.
So have you been communicating with Kobe Christian
for
along that
sure.
career path to find out what's involved with that?
Yes, sir. I've been asking Kobe a lot of questions. I know it's going to be hard, but he's been guiding me through it. So.
Okay, well, best of luck to you on Saturday's game and throughout your careers, and whatever you do in the future, JJ, best of luck to you as well. Thanks for joining us here this week on the Coaches Show.
Thank you.
JJ Grant and Jalen Hinton. So now we're going to switch over, and we're going to switch to a different sport. We're going to switch to volleyball, because one of the newest sport added on the Catawba campus is men's volleyball. So we're going to welcome men's volleyball coach Bill Ferguson. And Bill has plenty of experience in the volleyball world. He's coached it in the ACC, the Pac-12. He's helped out with USA Volleyball. quite an extensive career. He was a 2-time Coach of the Year when he was at USC and took those teams to 3 Final Fours and a couple runner-up finishes. And, Coach, you started a program at Carolina University in Winston-Salem. Now you're here at Catawba starting a program. What's been one of your biggest challenges starting a program?
Just getting the guys on campus. I told a bunch of people, anybody that would listen, I was gonna try to bring in the best guys I could and try to put together the best schedule I could, and I'd ask for forgiveness on everything else.
Now, you've been quite involved with club volleyball. Is
Yep.
that where you end up recruiting most of your players from the club volleyball circuit?
Yeah, club is where most men's volleyball does their recruiting. You're at tournaments with 40 courts, hundreds of teams. So when you take your trip and you spend your money to go recruit, you get more bang for your buck and you see more players in one spot.
And as you're trying to recruit these guys to come to Catawba College, what's been the big selling point?
The school, the community, the academics. I think the ability for us to compete in, we're at Catawba, and in this part of the country, we're one of the few places that can compete. Division I, Division II compete together in men's volleyball. So we can play the best of the best and have a path to win a national championship. And I think the opportunity for guys to do that, the opportunity for guys to come and train, our facilities are pretty good. Our gym's great. We got a brand new locker room. So there was a lot to sell here.
And what's been the key? You have a lot of freshmen and sophomores on your roster, but I see you did recruit a couple grad students, and we're going to talk to kind of help you build that culture. How important is it to have those experienced guys in the program?
It's priceless. You need to have guys that know how to lead. You need to have guys that know how to play. And in this particular case, I knew a couple of them from quite a long time ago. I got to coach 2 of them. I knew their character. I knew their ability. They knew me, which was really important. So I've had assistants say, "Hey, I speak Ferg," and they do. So they know what I'm talking about. They know what I want. They can pass it down to the younger guys, and it's a little bit more of a seamless transition. And by the way, they're pretty darn good too.
And you mentioned you can compete against Division I and Division II programs. You have some scrimmages coming up this weekend, I believe, and then later on when your season gets underway after the Christmas holidays, you got a big matchup against Hawaii. They're actually coming here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hawaii is making a trip out here to play a couple matches, and I got a long-standing relationship with Charlie Wade, the head coach there, and we talked at the AAU Nationals while we were recruiting, and it made sense for him to come on out and play us, and he knew we were going to have a good team, and it was gonna push them, and it's a great opportunity for us, and kind of the big deal of bringing in a big-time school in our sport, get them on campus, and continue to promote our sport and show everybody how cool it is.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us, and best
Thanks.
of luck to your team this season.
Appreciate it.
Let's talk to a couple of those players that you have coming in here. We're going to bring up a couple of these volleyball players. They're both grad students that have played for Coach Ferguson in the past at the club level, joined by Trevor Phillips, closest to me, and then Eli Zadanik is over here on the end. So, Trevor, let's start with you. You're from Davidson, North Carolina, played at Cox Mill High School.
Yes, sir.
You also went to Ball State, so you're coming here to Catawba as a grad student. What was the key to get you back here? What was just being able to play for Coach Ferguson again was the big selling point?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the biggest things that I thought about when making a decision where I wanted to go after finishing my undergrad. Like you said, I'm originally from here, so that was also probably the biggest selling point for me. I wanted to come back to the Carolinas, be around home. I'm very passionate about bringing the sport to the place that I grew up. So, yeah.
I see that you're listed as an outside hitter as a junior at Ball State, 37 kills in 14 matches. And then last year as a senior, 70 kills in 12 matches. What's been the key to your success out there getting those smashes for the big points?
It really just confidence. It took me a while to grow into myself as a player. Ball State is a great program I got to develop over the past 4 years, and I'm really looking forward to continue that trajectory and try to teach some of the younger guys. And yeah.
And so I'm assuming that you already have a degree from Ball State. So what are you studying here at Catawba as a grad student?
Yeah, so we're studying sports management, all 3 of us grad students. We're in the graduate sports management.
And what do you hope to be doing in the future?
In the future, I hope to kind of merge both of my degrees that I'm going to be getting from both schools. I did my undergrad in psychology. I think maybe a good trajectory would be to go to like sports psych or something like that.
Okay, and Eli, you're also an outside hitter. You played at Emmanuel down in Georgia. Mentioned that you were the leading scorer in Conference Carolinas. When they say leading scorer, does that mean you led in kills and getting the points for your team?
Yeah, I believe so.
And so as an outside hitter, do you always stay on the outside and rely on the setter to get the ball out to you, or what? Or where are you able to move around to on the court?
Well, there's two outside hitters, and one of them gets to hit on the right side like one time. But other than that, you're pretty much locked out on the outside, and you're just waiting for the sets to come to you.
And I have to ask this question. I saw that you're from Greenville, South Carolina, and you're homeschooled. So I have to ask, did you like your teacher?
She was all right. Not great. No, I'm just kidding.
I just have to ask that of all those. And you guys as grad students, you've played for Coach Ferguson at the club level. You're brought in here to establish a culture. Is that a lot of pressure on you, or does that just come naturally?
It's definitely a lot of pressure. I mean, that's one of the things he told me when I was coming here is he was recruiting me for, the person that I am. And, regardless of where you are, you still got to work to that and, be cognizant of leading and what you're doing in front of other people.
And then, Trevor, what does that mean to you to try to establish the culture?
Yeah, it's huge. I think that's really the most important thing, having such a young team, just getting the environment to a place where it encourages growth for all the younger guys. It's just huge.
Okay, well, best of luck on the upcoming season, and hope you have a great year and enjoy your time here at Catawba College. Thanks for joining us on the Coaches Show. So now let's bring up the president of the Catawba Chiefs Club, Shari Graham. And as you know, a lot of this stuff here at Catawba College does not happen without the support of the Catawba Chiefs Club. And they raise a lot of money to support the student athletes. They support 24 teams, over 600 student athletes, and their goal is to have direct, meaningful, and lasting impact both now and in the future and enrich their overall experience. That's a lot of work to do, Shari, and exactly how do you guys accomplish that?
Our first accomplishment, I think what our goal is to engage the parents. I'm very passionate about that. The board that we have surrounded ourselves with work really hard. They're engaged in Catawba. They love the school as much as I do. That's important to me, to surround myself with people who have bought into the program, who love Catawba. So we reach out to the parents first. And I always say that if your student's an athlete here, then you need to be a member of the Chiefs Club.
And then you raise a lot of funds. I know you raise a lot of funds. Where do all those funds go? They don't just go for scholarships, do they? They go to help the teams with a lot of expenses that they have just outside of the normal expenses they incur.
Exactly. Our goal going forward, Michelle and I have met and her team, and they're very supportive of our passion for whatever the athletes need. We want this to be their home away from home. We want them to fill their needs if we can, anytime they need it. It could be anything. If the soccer field floods and we need to get pumps down there, we want her to be able to have those funds to use. So it's for emergency services. It's for anything that may come up that may not be in the budget, but that we can fix and help them support and get the kids back on the fields.
We also mentioned that you support over 600 student athletes, but you also support the coaching staffs of all these programs as well. What are some of the things that you do to support the coaching staffs?
We've started a program where I have every board member as a liaison to a team. And so the coaches, Michelle, again, and her team are very busy. So our goal is to make sure that there's a liaison between the team and Chiefs Club so that we can help them with any needs that may come up. We get engaged as far as supporting the teams with dinners, meals that are compliant and all those kind of things, but we really want the coaches to feel like they can come to us and help them out any way we can.
Now, we mentioned this is a growing program, 24 teams that you got to support, and your role as Chiefs Club president, what are some of your main responsibilities?
I'm probably the burr in people's bonnet. I don't take no for an answer. I love my school. I want everybody to love it as much as I did. I had a wonderful experience here a long time ago. I met my wonderful husband. My daughter went here, my son-in-law, my father. So we bleed blue in my family. So it's so important to me that those kids have the same magnificent experience that I did.
Well, and as I said here, you want to have direct, meaningful, and lasting impact both now and in the future. I think from all the folks that have joined us this year on the Coaches Show, the majors that they're studying, their goals for the future, we can see the impact that you and the folks in the Chiefs Club are having on these student athletes. It has to make you and everybody in the Chiefs Club feel really good with the kind of student athletes we're turning out here at Catawba.
Catawba is such a unique place. I mean, I don't know another school, I'm sure they're out there, but that can be family to these kids. It's so important that they have someone to go to, that they know they have the support. We're here for them, and it's such an amazing place to be. The energy on campus is just incredible. I've told Michelle a million times, and I've told President Nelson, it's so different, the energy and the transformation that school's going through. You can feel it when you walk on campus, and the kids, they know you by name. They know, they want to be, they're part of our family. We hug them. We were hugging basketball players last night that we hadn't seen, and so they all love that we're here. We were at a volleyball game the other night, and the girls turned around, and no, it didn't go the way they wanted, but they turned around and stopped and said it was JD's and I, and said, oh my gosh, thanks for coming. I mean, how many schools do that? How many have that opportunity?
And as the president of the Chiefs Club, is there any message that you would like to convey to the members or the fans related to the Chiefs Club and Catawba Athletics?
It's just incredibly important. Like I said, my passion is if you have a student athlete here, or even if you just love coming to the events, we need your support. The money is important. We want to do tangible things. We want to make progress and do things to make this even the most superb, proud, program we can.
All right, Shari, thanks for joining us on the Coaches Show.
Thank you.
And let's get Coach Haynes up here to close out our final show of the regular season this year in the 2024 season. Coach, we're going to talk about the upcoming game this week against the Tusculum Pioneers, a change in the schedule. Originally, Mars Hill was on the schedule, but because of the championship matchup, and when they try to match teams up, they don't want any rematches, so they shuffle them around. Now you get Tusculum coming in here. Does that create any special challenges for you that they're a late addition to the schedule or not?
No, we don't get too far ahead of ourselves because we don't have a bye week. We're week to week, so we had not started breaking down Mars Hill by any stretch. Tusculum is a team that was in the conference championship last year against LR. So when we look at them, we see a lot of talent. Their season has been similar to ours in terms of not going the way it wanted from a win-loss column. So we got to go out there and play well, but they do have talent on that team, and it's going to be, I say it every week, it's going to be another war.
Yeah, they do have plenty of talent. And last year up at Tusculum, you fell behind. You committed 5 turnovers in the first half and fell behind 21-0. Battled back and got within a touchdown, but then eventually lost 35-21. But I think that was one of those games you learned a lot about your team at that point last season, and it's carried through this year. Your team never gives up in a football game.
Yeah, that's a credit to our staff. It's credit to the character of our guys. And, again, don't like talking about losses, and unfortunately we've had to do it a little bit more than we want to. But going back to the Tusculum game last year, I don't have it on the top of my mind, but I know we did come out and had some turnovers early. And that Tusculum team last year, again, they won their division on that side. Their head coach left to go be an assistant coach at Western Carolina, so it's not the exact same team. That was not one of our better games at Tusculum playing up there.
So you mentioned they have a lot of talent, particularly on the offensive side. Their quarterback, Matthew Palazzo, had a good game against you last year. He's back. What challenges does he present for your team?
They are very unique offensively, and I think when you guys see him on Saturday, what you're going to find is on offense, they do everything, meaning they will come out. I've never seen this before in coaching college football for 17 years. They will come out with 3 backs and run triple option like Carson Newman. They will come out in 5 wide. They will do every single thing offensively that is imaginable. So you can't really know what they're going to do. But with that, there's a little bit of a lack of identity too. I don't know that they know who they are, but it makes it tough for us to know who they are too. So we got to go out there and execute at a high level. Their quarterback is a good quarterback. He's a big kid. He's been banged up a little bit, but we're gonna have to play well.
And then defensively, what do you think you're going to be able to take advantage of? Their coach was a defensive coordinator at East Tennessee State University. So what challenges does he present to you defensively?
Yeah, Coach Taylor does a great job. He actually coached with my brother-in-law for a long time in Tennessee, so I know him really well as a personal friend. They are an odd front, meaning a 3-down defensive front, which we saw against LR as well. It'll come down to how they want to play us. Do they want to blitz us and play cover 1 and cover 0 behind us, or do they want to play a little bit softer zone? I think they'll mix it up. I think Mason has shown that he has the ability to throw the ball, so they can't just stack the box and let him throw it. And we know what our offensive line and running game can do. Even without LJ, Marquise and Kayvon and some of these other running backs have shined. So I don't know what they're going to do defensively. I know how they're going to line. I don't know what their calls are going to be. And I just know from an offensive standpoint, their offense is going to do everything.
Now, we talked about some of the positives on the season. Your coaching staff, you mentioned it, you're used to each other now. Coach Gordon Sofcheck has called up a lot of great plays throughout this season. Sometimes you didn't execute one or two just exactly right, but he's really come along as an offensive play caller, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. Coach Sofcheck, Coach Overman, I have the best staff in the South Atlantic Conference. I firmly believe that, and again, I wear the losses. I put that on me. I think if you asked our team and our coaches, they know exactly where they stand. We are behind them 100%. Coach Sofcheck has grown, and talk about a tough job. How about going through 4 quarterbacks in 1 year as an offensive coordinator, putting a game plan together to put those guys in the most successful positions possible to give us a chance to win the game. So credit to not only Coach Sofcheck, our entire staff. As hard as it's been on the players and the program, as hard as it's been on me, it's hard on the staff as well. But, we wake up smiling because we get to coach these young men. We get to coach these 11 seniors. We're a part of Catawba College football in Salisbury, and we're thankful to wake up in the morning and do this, and we're going to work our tails off to make it happen on Saturday.
Coach, we saw you win the season finale last year, lead to some momentum going into the offseason. How important is it to close out this season with a win?
Every single game is important. This is no different. Our expectation is to go out there, play our best game, coach our best game, and win the game. And if it happens to lead into recruiting, great. We, like I said, graduate 11 guys. We graduate 2 seniors. We have a veteran team coming back, but we're never satisfied. We got to go out there and find better players to be a part of this Catawba family.
All right, Coach, it's been a quick season. Thanks for another great season on the Catawba Coaches Show, and take us out with another Catawba cheer.
Thank you all so much again. We'll go get you one on Saturday. Cat U on 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you, everyone. It's been a great season. Thanks for joining us here each and every week at City Tavern. We'll be back again next year. Hope you join us.